all tea real estate related. You're not finding me in Brooklyn. You don't see any brownstones, right? You're finding me in the mountains, in upstate New York, in the Catskill Mountains, and I'm privileged to have a home, a summer home, right here in Loch Sheldrake, right next door to what is a historic and famous camp. It's called Stage Door Manor. Stage Door Manor was where big stars like Natalie Portman, to name one, I don't know, I can't think on the top of my head. I know she's one of the stars that started here. Many came here as teenagers, and it's an acting camp, and they get scouted. All the Disney bigwigs, they come, and many of the movie channels, they come to scout out talent. So it's an amazing historic camp, and they run multiple 3-week sessions for those who are interested in pursuing an acting career. So this is just to give you a perspective of where I am, where I spend my summers, and this is just a place where I want to share with you. I'm fortunate enough that I can do my business. I can sell real estate, I can buy real estate without having to actually physically be in Brooklyn. And that is definitely one of the perks of selling real estate. I'm going to take you on a tour of where I spend my summers. But before that, I just wanted to share something very interesting that happened to me. This happened to me, I think it was yesterday afternoon. I got a call, and it was a call from one of my clients, and he actually was concerned. He said, "Is everything okay?" Why? Because he hadn't heard from me. The way I operate my business is I have broadcast lists. So I divide them. I have different buckets of my broadcast list. I have those who are seeking one area in the neighborhood of Brooklyn that I serve, another for a different area. It's a different price point. So it's 2 different price points. And then I have the third for investors. I think he's on all of my buckets. And he says, "What's going on? Are you okay?" I'm like, "Sure." And he actually is in this place with me that I have a summer home. He says, "'Cause I didn't get 10 deals a day from you. What's going on? I haven't heard from you." So I thought that was really nice and interesting that people actually who do get my deals are actually paying attention, whether it's good for them or not. They're paying attention, and if they don't get it, they want to be like, "Whoa, where is Margula?" So I was having a conversation in a masterclass. As you know, I'm on a daily masterclass, and we were talking yesterday about follow-up. Is follow-up a good thing, or is it not? Some people say, "You know what, too much follow-up." We get annoyed, not necessarily from real estate agents, but from anybody, whether it's a doctor's office, whether it's a health club. They're trying to get membership in, and they say, "Well, we just get annoyed when we get too many follow-up calls, like, leave us alone." And I'm thinking, hey, is that what my prospects are thinking about me when I follow up? And I was thinking, look at what just happened to me. He didn't hear from me. So let's try the reverse engineering. If you're in a business, whatever it is, whatever you're selling, whatever entrepreneur, whatever it is you do, if it's a service business and you need people to make your business roll, don't call them. Just set the appointment, and then that's it. Don't call them. Let them come to you, keep that appointment. If they don't keep their appointment, then be like, "Okay, you missed the appointment. Now I've got to put you on the wait list." It just makes your service more valuable. And this was my case in point. I wasn't calling, and not intentionally. The last few weeks, I've been concentrating on deals that I have on the table, deals that are in contract, and deals that need a close. And there's about half a dozen deals, and each of them have different issues. That you're going to hear on my podcast. I started a podcast. It comes out once a month, and if you want to hear it, you got to hear it on Spot. You can hear it on Spotify, Apple, or send me your email in the comments, and I'll add you to my email list, and you get it on the 15th of every month. That's when you'll get my podcast. So one came out already, and each podcast is going to go behind the scenes of a different deal, and every deal is a soap opera. Remember the days when we would actually watch TV and we'd be glued from like 1 to 3 watching All My Children, General Hospital. I remember my grandmother used to have a schedule. I think it was from 12 to 3, and she had every hour her soap opera. And of course, it was my grandmother, so it was many decades ago, and there was no replay or rewind or let me record it and I'll watch it when I can. No, if you miss it, you miss it. She was glued to, and I also, when I grew up, I was also 1 o'clock, All My Children. So soap operas had us hooked. My deals can have you hooked. Every deal is so much better than the best of All My Children, let me tell you. So I go behind the scenes every month and I share a deal. I don't reveal names. I don't reveal specific addresses. I protect the privacy of those involved because real estate is private and confidential. That is definitely one of our fiduciaries as a licensed real estate broker to uphold by the 7 fiduciary responsibilities: obedience, loyalty, discretion, confidentiality, accounting, transparency, and I'm not sure. I don't remember off the top of my head, but you get the gist. And that's extremely important as a real estate agent to protect what your client is saying. Now, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. What is your, okay, my favorite Neil Diamond song? That was before my time, sorry. Okay, I'm not sure what else okay. Any questions, just put them on the comments. And that's what happened to me. Busy with wrapping up my deals and neglected to sending off-market deals, and someone actually took notice. Okay, let me talk about a tip. And on every Tuesday, I do these lives. It gives you a chance to interact, and I'm going to talk to you about something that was relevant in my deals and something I could share with you as a hint or a tip of deals that you might have in your personal real estate transactions. So since real estate is my specialty, that's what I'm going to focus on. Okay, you're a buyer. You're looking to buy something. You want to buy a property. The property is supposed to be delivered vacant. You're all excited. You negotiated the price, got everything all squared away. You got the deal, and voila, the property is not going to be delivered vacant. What do? Well, you have a choice. You can bounce and you can get out of the contract because every contract, well, not every contract, but 99.9% of the contracts are contingent on vacancy. So if the property cannot be delivered vacant, you have a right to bounce. You get your money back. But what if you don't want to bounce? What if you really, really want that property? Okay, I'm going to get back into my colony because there's traffic, and I'm going to take you for a spin around where I live just to show you and what it's like to have a life in the mountains And here in the Catskill Mountains, people summer in all different places. In, you know, some people like to go to the Hamptons, some people go to the beach by the water, some people go to Florida by the beach, some people go to the Hamptons, and then there are those who prefer the mountains, the cool mountain air. Let me tell you, it's about at least 10 degrees cooler up in the mountains than it is in Brooklyn. So that is why I enjoy it. I just take you for a quick spin so you get an idea of where I live in the summer. A little different than my Brooklyn brownstone, but it's really pretty and very cool. Very relaxing. Anyone else here summer in the mountains or live in the mountains? Mountains is nice. We have a lake. Maybe next time I'll actually show you the lake where I swim in every single day. So see, we got trees. We have homes. Next Tuesday, if I'm upstate, I'll hang out by the lake. And that's something really, really special. It's a 200 feet deep lake. All right. These are the homes. See, we're all in a circle. It's really nice. We have trees, we have homes. And these are winterized homes. I'm showing you the backs of the homes. And then I'll go inside and show you internally. They're winterized so we can actually enjoy them in the winter. Many people do. They come up in the winter. We have fireplaces, we have heat. And okay, this is where I summer. Not glamorous, but it's perfect for me. And it's like living in a gated community, if you will. You have a gated community that we pay maintenance fees, we pay HOAs, we have rules. As you see, all the homes are a very specific shade of brown. We can't change that. It all has to be the exact, very specific shade of Benjamin Moore brown. I don't remember what it is offhand, but that's the shade. Someone even has chickens. See, we raise chickens here. We do everything. And so while I'm spinning around, let me just finish about my story with a buyer that we were in contract for a home that was supposed to be delivered vacant. And lo and behold, it wasn't able to be delivered vacant. I'm representing the seller, and the buyer is coming to me unrepresented. So I said to the buyer, okay, we can't deliver it vacant. You're welcome to take your deposit back and move on. And he said, no, he doesn't want his deposit back. So he wanted the deal, did not want the deposit back. Hold on one second. I'm going to show you our tennis courts. We've got tennis courts. See what this? We got all these tennis courts. Cool. And we got the gate that locks us in. All right. So he said, no, I don't want it. I don't want my money back. I want the deal. So I said, okay, but we can't do anything about the vacancy. So he says, no problem. What he negotiated for himself was that he was able to deduct money. He asked for a deduction on the price. And that was his option. And that was my seller's option, right? My seller had that option. Hold on one second. My seller had the option. Well, they didn't really. See, if you're a seller and you're selling a property, I guess this should be really flipped to the seller rather than the buyer. If you're a seller and you have a property and there's tenants, my advice is to make sure their tenants are out before you put the house on the market. Very often, in Brooklyn at least, people will put a house on the market with the tenants in place, but promise vacancy and say, no worry, no big deal. They're going to go out. And that my friends, is always one of the first questions I ask, is the property occupied? And when they tell me yes, my second question is, well, what's with your relationship with the tenants? How quickly can the tenants go? Are they willing to go? Because the city of New York is very much on the side of tenants. We don't throw anybody out. We don't do that. And tenants have a tremendous amount of rights here in New York, and they know it. So if you happen to be lucky, and have tenants that are accommodating to you, and when you ask them if they can move, they actually do try to move, that's wonderful. Consider yourself blessed. But if your tenants are going to be difficult and say, hey, we don't have to go, we're going to stay as long as we can, then what happens? You as a seller are stuck. You're stuck with tenants that won't go, and you're bound to a contract that you signed. So the best advice, and this is free advice to anyone who is actually spending your precious time listening to me, if you or anyone you know wants to sell a property, it's anywhere, not necessarily in New York City, but New York City is so much harder. And anyone that has a property and has tenants in it, wait till you get the tenants out. And very often I get asked, or I'm told from sellers, oh no, Margula, we're not going to get the tenants out until we know we have a contract. Why should we bother getting the tenants out, bothering them, disturbing them, risk losing a nice stream of income if we don't have a buyer? And my answer is that with the tenants in the house, you won't get a buyer. And if you do get a buyer, this is what's going to happen. Hello, gentlemen. What's going to happen is what happened to my very dear seller right now that we're going to be wrapping up. It's an unfortunate situation, but there's nothing that the sellers could do at this point. So what happened? The sellers told me, we have tenants, but don't worry, they're going to go out. We've had them forever, long-standing, salt of the earth, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, great. Well, we got a contract, and I got my sellers an amazing price. I promised them an aspirational price. It's a big house, big property, and it's worth it. Doesn't matter what anything else sold for on the block. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant because they're not, those houses aren't available now. What's available now is their house. And so they opted to accept a reduced price for the property. They're not happy about it. But the moral of this, they're arguing at the end of the day, even though it is less than what we contracted for, when all is said and done, the price that was finally negotiated with the tenants, there's about 4 tenants, is a very good deal for my seller. Why? Because that price is head and shoulders higher than any property that's sold on that block ever vacant. There are currently 2 contracts on that block. There's a neighboring property that's an identical footprint that's in contract for about $50,000 less than what I negotiated, and that's coming vacant. There's another property that's in contract for about $100,000 less, and that's vacant on the block earlier, one block, and the one block ahead, one block before it. So sellers aren't happy because it's less than what we contracted, and it's an estate, and there's a bunch of people that are part of this estate. but it's occupied. And dealing with tenants is not a picnic. No walk in the park dealing with tenants in New York City. So I hope you all learned